we go. All right. Okay. So as I said, yes, I created this workshop in response to people's clear desire to know how to do this, how to integrate Scrivener and Zotero, because the big thing that Scrivener doesn't do is any sort of citation management. And of course, you know, Zotero is pretty awesome. I'm going to go right into the dreaded screen share. Which I hope isn't going to be too deadly. Now you should all be seeing a PowerPoint now. If you're not seeing that, let me know. So you're seeing a slide. And I know it has a sort of an apocalyptic subtitle here, and there's a reason for that. This integrating Scrivener and Zotero is a kludge. It is not native to Scrivener, and it is not native to Zotero. The solutions have been jerry-built by users, and they're not terrible, but they take some fiddling. I mean, when I say it's not plug and play, I really mean it is not plug and play. That said, there are various, there are different ways you can do it, and you can make it easier or harder on yourself depending on what you need to do with it. Okay, so I'm making some assumptions, and these seem like very basic and simple assumptions. You're writing in Scrivener and you use Zotero. But I'm saying that because I'm not actually going to cover a lot about either Scrivener or Zotero. I'm going to assume a certain level of familiarity. I'm going to assume that you don't need me to help you download or install any of those. And as for the third assumption, that's because retrofitting Zotero to Scrivener is manual. You basically have to cut and paste. There's no way to, you know, avoid carpal tunnel doing that. Which isn't to say that it's not possible. And if you're in that situation or any other like sort of fiddly use case, you know, if you have half your manuscript already written in Word and you've got Zotero citations there and you want to figure out how to get everything into Scrivener and back out of Scrivener with it can probably be done, but I'm not going to get that detailed. I'm gonna assume we are starting a manuscript in Scrivener using Zotero. And these are the two things that I'm assuming that people are looking for. You want Scrivener to import your citations from Zotero, and you want those citations to be dynamic and updatable. There are, you know, the way that you can sort of plug in with Microsoft Word and it will do that. Actually, have people experimented with that integration at all? Do you know about integrating Word and yes, no? Feel free to either unmute or put things in the chat. I'm no longer looking at the galley view because, okay, I tend not to use the Word integration, but you're aware of it, right? You know how it works. Now, the other possible use case that I'm going to address is that you want to get what your reference material out of Zotero into Scrivener without killing yourself, and you don't really care about whether the citations are dynamic or not. I'll show you what I mean by a dynamic citation. If that's your case, you are probably a much happier person, because this first scenario can't really work. Not natively. Like I said, there's nothing in either Scrivener or Zotero that does this seamlessly. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just gonna, it has to be massaged. And the second case is a lot easier, hopefully, obviously. Okay, some people are considering Scrivener. Okay, so this might help you make a decision if you seeing what you might have to do to maintain the kind of workflow that you want. Okay, so like I said, there's no plugin in Scrivener the way there is one for Word, there is one for LibreOffice. I think there might be one for Google Docs now. I'm not sure. That's never going to exist for Zotero. And the reason for that is just the nature of the company that produced Zotero. That produced Scrivener. They don't make their API available for developers to integrate other programs, and they're not open source. So there's no way that an outside developer can write an integration. And Scrivener itself, the Literature and Latte is the name of the company, they show no interest in doing this. They're a small company and they have a niche market, and they're perfectly happy with that niche. They are, they're not courting a larger market like, Microsoft Word is. I mean, Word wants to integrate with everything because it, it wants to be everyone's word processor. Scrivener doesn't care. So we've got what we've got, and I'm gonna go through 3 ways of working with Zotero and Scrivener. There's an easy way, which is not like I put integration in quotes because it's really a manual, and it's not it's not the dynamic solution. There's another method, which is sort of medium difficulty. It does require compiling the manuscript, like taking things out of Scrivener in order, in order to create a document with those dynamic citations. And there's actually, this also requires, you'll see an exported document in order to make dynamic citations. The thing about this one is you don't need to download any extra software. You don't need to know anything more than Scrivener, Zotero, and whatever software you're compiling into. And then there is the the complicated but best option, which is it uses a plugin called ODF Scan, which was written by Zotero users. You have to also have a program called LibreOffice. It does not work with Microsoft Word. But when you are done, you have a manuscript that will dynamically refresh with any changes that you make to your citations in Zotero, which can be super, super handy if you are running into the hundreds of citations, as many of us are. However, as you can see, there are a bunch of steps. I will go through all of this and it's not impossible. In fact, it's pretty straightforward. However, the documentation is very scanty. It was written, the software was written by, I see a question about switching citation style. Yes, that is one of the big reasons to want to keep your citations Zotero dynamic, because you can go back and change the citation style. You can also, if you find more information about a source, or need to change a title or an author's name, then you just do it in Zotero and you don't have to do it through your entire document. Okay, like I was saying, okay, so this ODF scan was built by people who use Zotero. It was, and these guys, and yes, they're guys, they're computer programmers, they're coders. They are not, they're not librarians. So their documentation is scanty. I am building documentation that I hope will be much easier to follow. And of course, I will give you the benefit of watching me go through it. Right. All right, so I'm going to go back to the easy integration, the maybe easy integration. And in order to show you that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to, let's see, what have I got open? Do I have, well, okay. So for the purposes of this workshop, I created a very short bibliography, a short list of resources, and I'm just going to try to sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once, which is not smart. I guess the thing I need to do now is open Scrivener. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. Sorry about this. I'm responding to a chat, which I will stop doing now. Come on, where's my office? Okay. Let me get this. For those of you who joined a little bit late, I did warn people that I've never taught this workshop before. So you're gonna have to be patient with me in that I might have to fumble through things a little bit. Okay, here we go. That's what I want to be sharing now. Okay, so now you should be looking at a Scrivener document. which is, of course, it's just dummy text. In the normal course of using Scrivener, you footnote up here, format. If you want to do an inline footnote, obviously that, or you footnote here and you put your footnote in at the pane on the side. The sort of odd thing about how Scrivener handles footnotes is that they are, as you can see, they're under the format menu. They consider footnote text to be something that is differently formatted rather than something that is enclosed in its own little cell. Does that make sense? I don't know exactly how to describe it. But the way that you can integrate Zotero with no extra software, no extra nothing, you will go over to your Zotero. Here. You'll grab your, now I'm afraid I can't actually show you how this is happening, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag this citation over into that little footnote pane. And I hope that this will make sense when the result is up. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Scrivener, and you'll see, and it does this weird thing when you first, that there is a footnote there, and the footnote here. That's it. Now, you can change the style of that footnote. If you don't, if you don't want the full citation there, you can. I'm going to go back into Zotero. You can change how it exports. So the tools menu, those preferences, and here. So this is what we're doing. We're doing quick copy. We're dragging everything. Can you add the comments to the footnote? Yes, you can, I believe. Let's see. Let me go back now to Scrivener. I'm just going to leave my selection as it is and go back to Scrivener. Yes, and how does this? I'm gonna, there we go. Haha. All right. I had to navigate away. Can I get in here and say, okay. So yes, I can add that. It will be interesting to see if that can, if once I've added to that footnote, if it will continue to be dynamic. I don't know. I'm going to add a second footnote down here. Format. So crazy. This time I'm not going to drag you to Zotero with me. I'm just going to drag in. Now you probably saw that appear, even though you can't really see what it looks like. There we go. All right, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that alone there, because I'm interested to see if those two behave differently. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile this manuscript. Okay. And I'm going to compile it as rich text. Okay. You can do it in all kinds of different ways. You can actually create your own format. I'm going to just do that times 12 point. I'll compile it. And why does it want to print? I don't, because I've got it compiled for print. Why it did that, I do not know. Text. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to save it as manual compiled. Okay, compiles in a flash because there's not really anything in it. And now, whoops, I can open that up in, I will open it in LibreOffice, which of course you're not looking at. Zoom, why do you do this to me? You could also open this in Word. Doesn't matter. But now, it's slowly opening. Okay, and here it is. It is compiled, and there's the footnote. There are the footnotes. Now, I don't have the plugin, the LibreOffice plugin. It does look like some of this text is dynamic, but there's a Zotero translator for LibreOffice, which I actually took out of my LibreOffice so I could show you how to put it in. You would use that if you wanted to make these citations dynamic. How do I get to the compile function? I'll go back to Scrivener and show you. You'll see this several times actually. As we, you compile in Scrivener under the File menu, compile. File, compile. Oh, maybe I can just show you my whole screen. Now, are you, tell me if this, okay, tell me if this is working. I'm seeing Scrivener, and now I'm seeing the compiled document. Is that true? Are people seeing that? Yes, okay. Oh, that's so much easier. I don't know why it took me that long to figure it out. Oh, it's gonna make all of our lives better. Yes, if you want to make these dynamic, you have to actually replace all of these citations using that Zotero integration with LibreOffice. You'll see how to do that when I do the next version of integration. That's just, it's a huge pain in the ass. So it's not much better. Well, I guess it is. I was going to say it's not much better than just leaving all of your work to the your citation work to the end and just doing it in LibreOffice. But at least you have placeholders. You know where they are. Okay. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to this. I'm gonna now we're in here. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one, which is the, like I said, slightly difficult method. It does not use the Zotero plugins with Scrivener or with the compiled manuscript. But what you do is you put these placeholders with curly brackets. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Scrivener document. I'm going to delete these footnotes and try to put them back in. And I'm going to put them in line, curly bracket, okay. I have a bibliography here, and I'm going to just put the word bibliography in curly brackets. Okay. It'd be interesting if just the author will call the citation in the way, because I don't think that there was a year on that. All right, now I'm going to compile it again. File, compile. Am I doing rich text? Yes, I'm still doing rich text. And I'm going to call it RTF scan. And you'll see why I'm calling that way in a moment. Okay. Now I'm going to Zotero, not to my word processor, but to Zotero. Drag this guy back in here. Up here under tools, I have RTF scan. Okay. Citations and variations upon the following formats. Okay, so we've there is a whole vocabulary of how these at least I'm not sure about that. When we open it, we'll see if my boldface came through. All right, so I'm choosing the file for input, and it will be this one. And now I'm going to output. You'll see it generates its own name, RTF scanned. Okay, that's fine. All right. Sorry, there's a sort of a syntax of this. There is some documentation on that. I'll show you where to find it later. Okay. Now, it didn't recognize the Eliot citation. So I didn't use the right syntax for that. And now I get to choose what citation style. Oh, it's Chicago, all right. Okay, and now I'm finished. Now I'm going to go to, I could open it in Word, but I'm still going to use LibreOffice. That's what the manual compiled. Now I'm going to open the RTF compiled and scanned. I open it. And there's my citation, my in-text citation. It didn't pick up that Eliot. But it has also generated my bibliography. Now, this is not going to be dynamic because I have not hooked up the LibreOffice plugin. I will do that now. I'm going to close LibreOffice. I'm going to go back here. because you do it from Zotero, which is sort of confusing. And I believe it is an add-on. I have integration here. That's a good question. What happens if you switch the style? Well, I'd have to recompile it to switch the style. And let's find out what it does. I'm going to, shoot, how do I? Now this is telling me, the add-on is telling me that the LibreOffice integration is on. But why is it not showing up in LibreOffice? Because I'm going to shut this comment. Shut this comment. Okay, I'm actually going to. Okay. As you can see, like I did a whole bunch of like mining through things like comments sections and forums to find all of this information. I said that. Okay, so that's a download. Okay, and there, you know, this information is out there in different formats. Oh, this is a guy who does a very manual thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to oh. Okay, plug in. Okay, this is. Okay, site word processor plugins. Okay, it is in Zotero. I'm just I was in the wrong place. So it's the preferences. Go to preferences and site. Okay, and now I go to word processors. But I'm going to reinstall it. So that it actually shows up in LibreOffice as well. Okay, and let me hope that I don't have to restart my computer to get it to work. No, there it is. There it is. Okay, good. Sorry, I haven't gone back to the changing the bibliography. Because I just wanted to show you the way that the dynamic works. Okay. I'm going to go back to Zotero. I'm going to go into, what have I got there? I'm using the Lewis Carroll. All right. I looked at that, I'm like, you know, that is very strange. All of the syntax of this title. Here, I'm going to correct that. All right. I'm going to sync it. And now, okay, I'm crossing my fingers that this actually works. Because I'm going to go up here and I'm going to refresh. I must insert a citation. Oh, no, it doesn't. It does not insert. How interesting. Okay. I thought that this was going to insert dynamic citations. It does not. Huh. Well, that's irritating. Let's try that. So I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I'm going to close that out again. I wonder if I need to change the export format. Okay, so I'm going back to Zotero. When I do that RTF scan, okay, I'm going to use the same files. Okay, it still doesn't find that other one. But this time I'm going to say full note. And so now I open LibreOffice and I open this compiled. Should be different. Ah, yep, they have made it a footnote. Again, however, does not appear to be dynamic. Hard. Okay. All right. I'm not sure why these are not coming through as dynamic notes. I feel they should. Well, actually, I guess this does not actually say that it comes with the dynamic notes. Maybe the really super complicated way to do it is the only way to do it, where you end up with the dynamic text. That's a great pity. So, sorry about that. Now, are we basically following this? I'm not sure what the advantage of this. I guess the advantage of compiling in this way is that you get to choose the citation style. I don't know. Anyway, the showing you how to do the rest, the most complicated version is actually going to take the rest of our time. So let me get started on that. And like I said, you almost certainly will not remember all of these steps. That's okay. After this is all over, I'm going to make sure I have everybody's emails, and I will get you the documentation. Okay, I'm back here in Scrivener. I've got LibreOffice installed with its plugin. Now the thing that I need is this separate program, which is called the ODF scan plugin. Now I have it, I should have it. Yes. This is all of their documentation. All right. Which, it isn't nothing, but they don't tell you a number of rather important things. Okay. For instance, it says it will add a scannable site export translator to the Zotero client. It doesn't. Yes, I will give you the slides. At least it didn't for me. I had to add it manually. So I'll show you how to do that. You download this, you go to this site. You don't click on this. If you click on it, you'll get a very, very, you'll get all the raw code. Okay. And which, like, my computer can't even open. What you do is you right click on it. I'm on Windows. Okay. So, you know, whatever the equivalent is control click on Mac. And then you save the link. You save link as. And then it will save it as the correct kind of file. You know, save it wherever you need it. I think I put it in the downloads, a couple of times. And then you open it and install it. Now remember, there was that scannable site. It's supposed to be bundled in with this RDO scan. I'll show you where it is. I mean, where you should be seeing it. Remember how it's a preference, I think. Okay, so I have this quick copy thing, and I have it set as Chicago Manual Style full note. All right. This is what I need to have it set as to make this work, to make this process work. It has to be Scannable Site. And if that is not in your menu, if Scannable Site is not in your menu, you have to go, let me see if I've got it bookmarked. I guess I just have the forum. But there is, here it is. And I will make this more readily available, obviously. And here again, you right click on the link and you save the link as. All right. And then the downloadable file will come through Scannable Site. And of course, I've already got it. You have to put it in the right place. And the right place for Zotero, I'm going to cancel this out. Okay, here's the top. I'm going to go to users. This is my user file, Zotero, translators. Again, I will put this into documentation for you. And I've already put it in here, there. And it's a JavaScript file. All right. Now I can close that. And go back here. I have that Scannable Site thing. Yes, okay. So now that I've got everything installed, I have the LibreOffice set up on both ends. I have the Scannable Site JavaScript in there. I have downloaded and installed the ODF Scan plugin. Now here is my workflow. All right. Actually, there we go. That's better. Yeah, so I've done all of this stuff. Yeah, when you install LibreOffice in Zotero, I don't know why that worked. You may be prompted to install Java runtime, which I had to do it. It's not terribly, it's That's pretty intuitive, straightforward. Okay, so now we're going back to Scrivener. We're going to add our footnotes directly from Zotero. We're going to use that drag and drop. And again, sorry, I'm going to choose Scan Site from that dialog box. And then compile the manuscript with using ODT. All right. Yeah. Here we go on Scrivener. Bring up my Zotero as well. And here's my footnote. I'm doing this same way I was doing it before. Putting in my footnote, putting it through the looking glass. I'll try this Elliot footnote again. Whoops, almost forgot. I have to put in a Scrivener footnote. Okay. And just because that irritates me not to be able to see it, I'm going to go back and forth so I got that. Just going to make sure that I have that. Yes, okay, the default. I did have it on Scannable site. That's what I want. Now, I realized I didn't even go. I had this whole plan of putting the complicated ones in the complicated way, but I didn't. Doesn't matter. Once again, I'm going to compile this. This time, though, I'm not using rich text. I'm using ODT. And this one I'll call ODT. Okay. I'm going to go to Zotero, which you'll see this tool, this ODF scan, that didn't exist before. I had to, not until I installed the tool did it exist. So, oh, and in fact, it is not existing now. I wonder why. Well, let's see if yeah, okay. I actually disabled it so that I could show you how to re-enable it. Okay. And that means I'm going to have to remember how to re-enable it. Okay. Well, let's see if their documentation actually will tell me. Oh, I see. I remember. Okay. I was actually in the right place. When I went to add-ons, I needed to go over here to this and install add-on from file. And where is that for the files probably in downloads? Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna install it, and there it is. And now when I go over here and do the ODF scan, oh, it didn't take it up. Strange. There we go. Okay. And which file am I choosing? I'm choosing that one. And now I'm going to output it as, I'll just leave it with the title they gave it. There's an error processing this file. Okay, that's new. Great. I wonder if that's because I output the Scrivener file before I have the thing installed correctly. Well, I'll do it again. I want to be able to tell it apart from the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Zotero. Choose this one. And I'm going to make that. Hell. All right, I'm sorry. This is not supposed to be the thing that happens. Did I? Okay, what I'm supposed to end up with is a LibreOffice file that is dynamic. And since I don't appear to be able to show that to you at this moment, I will show you instead a dynamic Word file. Because I know this works, so I'm going to do this. All right. See that my Microsoft Word has the Zotero connector in it, or the Zotero plugin. I'm going to add a citation, and now this shows up nicely, and it's kind of fun. And this is what you really, really wish there actually was in Scrivener, but there isn't. Yep. There's my citation. And it's coming in, as a footnote. Now, if I want a bibliography, I'm going to add my bibliography, and there's my citation. And if, of course, I had put in any other footnotes, maybe if I put, let me try that Elliot here. Okay. Now I've got that. And now my bibliography also includes automatically, without my, Shiraz asked about page numbers. That, yes, you can add page numbers. I think that what you have to put the page numbers into no, that can't be right. Charles, I'm gonna have to look that up and get it to you, because yes, there has to be a way to get page numbers in there. It may be with that citation placeholder syntax. Anyway, now I'm going to show you what it means. Now, you can see these are highlighted. That shows you that they are dynamic. And here's the cool thing about that. I'm going to go back to Zotero. I'm going to realize, oh, wait, this isn't the publisher. This is the city. So I'm going to put the city up there. Publisher is Macmillan and Company. Okay. Now I come back here, I refresh, and the citation has updated. Not only did it, it updated there, but if I had changed something else, it would have updated throughout the entire document, every place that, if I decided I wanted to use Charles Dodgson instead of Lewis Carroll. I could do that. In fact, what the hell? Let's do that. No, although no one actually ever calls him that. Okay. Now I'm going to refresh it. And now he's Charles Dodson here and here. That is what all of the work is for. It's so that you can do all of those things without searching and finding and cutting and pasting, you know, however tens of dozens of times you would have to do it. Now, of course, you may look at that and think, that is not worth it to me. And that's perfectly acceptable. You may be perfectly happy just knowing that you can, drag and drop these footnotes. You may not even care about that, in which case, or you may look at this and think, this is so much trouble that, this isn't the setup for me. That's also fair. Once it's done, it's not that, it's not that complicated. Once you've got it set up, the fact that you have to export your manuscript in order to look at the footnotes as that they would actually appear in the manuscript, that's just a problem or feature, depending on how you think of it, that's native to Scrivener. That's how Scrivener does it. They don't try to be producing a finished manuscript for you. They're a whiteboard, they're a sandbox. You are welcome. I just want to, one other. I feel like there's another way that you can add the citations other than the drag and drop. Can I? Maybe I have to look back at this.
It looks like there's some sort of bookmarklet that they talk about.
Yes, yeah, there is something to let you do it. Yes, Cite Items Bookmarklet. And dialog box will appear. You click the bookmarklet while viewing a single. Okay, I see. So if I take my Cite Items and I put it up here, when I'm viewing a single in an online Zotero library, So then I'm not using this. I wonder if there's something. Maybe export item is what I'm looking for. No. Anyway, I like the drag and drop myself. I don't know, but I will look at that to see if there's another. Yeah, this is from the website from the client. Oh no, here they are. Select items and Control-Alt-C and copy and paste. Okay, so it's really is just being able to do it with the keyboard instead of. So if I wanted to cite this one, let's say it was Shift-Alt, Control-Alt-C. Stop that. Control-Alt-C, and then I'm going to move over to Scrivener and Control-V. Oh, that's not it. It says Control-Alt-C. Maybe I just wasn't aggressive enough. Yeah, I mean, if you're, no, it's still doing that. All right. So my operating system does not like that, that solution. Anyway, other questions? I mean, you probably have tons of questions, actually, which is going to make sure that you all have my email address. I know that it's not like you're going to be able to, sit down and replicate what I did from memory. So I will have that documentation as quickly as I can. And I mean, hopefully this will give you what you want, what you need. It's not, it's not a beautiful solution, but Scrivener just isn't open to something seamless. It's just the nature of the way it was developed. This is better than nothing. Okay, if I don't have questions right at this moment, I'm gonna bid you adieu. This presentation will be available probably on the library website. The dynamic only, yes, actually, Shiraz, that is an excellent question. It only works in LibreOffice. It does not work in Microsoft Word. And why oh, actually, I do know. I do know. Because the people who wrote this plugin, this ODF scan, found it easier to work with LibreOffice. And they were doing this as a side project for them. They didn't get paid for it. So I've actually seen their commentary saying, yeah, you could probably do this in Microsoft Word. And if somebody else wants to, go ahead and do it, but we don't have any plans for it. So yeah, the tool only works with LibreOffice. Right. Well, you are welcome. And please be in touch if there's anything that you are confused about or later that you want to know. And I will be in touch with some documentation. All right. Thank you, everyone.